What up, party people in the streets? How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing awesome. Well, I've been back from Bimini for, let's see, I don't even know, a week? Actually, it's been a week. Wow, I can't believe it's been a week already. And, just settling back to life is a whole feat in itself because you're spinning in the vortex for several months when you return from that particular trip. So this video is about the Bimini wrap-up. I'm going to be sharing some information that I wasn't able to share in the daily vlogs that I did during our trip through Bimini. And if you missed those vlogs, I did one every day, including after the journey was over, and even going home and going there. So I would highly recommend that you check those out if you're interested in healing and energies and what we did. But even though the videos have a lot of content on them, I want you to know that you're only seeing maybe, I would say 10% of what we did. And so you're going to be like, whoa, really? Like, I'm seeing a lot here, but it's just short little clips of this and that. It's a great way to kind of see an overall view, but definitely not the entire journey. And obviously I can't be doing healings and Snapchatting at the same time. So I would definitely go look at those. They're in a playlist together, and I'm actually putting this video in that playlist. It's on my YouTube channel, which is Cindy Eyler, and the playlist is called Bimini ATLANTEAN Healing Retreat. But if you click on this video in YouTube, you'll see to the right side of your screen all the videos that I did in Bimini, so they're all in one place. Okay, thanks. Bimini, I have to say, is one of the strongest vortex energies that we experience on some of these trips. Of course, Egypt and Peru definitely have it too. The other places have it too, but Bimini's vortexes, and there's more than one. You're working with Atlantean energies, you're working with the Bermuda Triangle vortexes right there, and then the dimensional vortexes is there's a lot going on in Bimini. I mean, you can go there and be in the island and experience the island as itself, but when you're on a sacred journey with me, we dive deep, and what we do is multi-dimensional and profound, and we're working with high-level light beings, not only the ones that I work with, but the ones that are working with you as your own personal guides. Along with that, we are experiencing high frequencies and vortexes that are intermingling and multi-dimensions that, I work with as well as the ones that you work with. And I'm channeling in specific energies with specific light beings for specific healings. And so it makes a huge difference. One thing I know for sure is that any spiritual journey that I take people on, whether it's Bimini for 5 days or Shasta for 3 days or Egypt for 17 days or Peru for 17 days or Hawaii for a week, we always have an amazing, intense, and deep healing experience and journey. And every place that we go to, the reason why we go to those places is because we are working with specific energies for specific types of healing with specific types of people and groups. So it's not just, oh, let's pick this exotic or beautiful or amazing location. although, of course, why would we do it in a place that wasn't? But they're actually selected for an intentional reason. So the healing will go along with that. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that do different kinds of spiritual journeys, and everybody does it in their own way. I just know how deep and profound mine are because it's not all about me. It's about the energies I channel in. It's about how I follow my guidance on where we should go and what we should do and how we should facilitate the healings. Things can change daily depending on what's going on with the guidance I get and the group, what's going on individually with the people and collectively with the group. There's so many factors to take into consideration. View from the room. Look at that beautiful blue. And we're going to be immersing ourselves in it today. Okay, we're tuning it to the Atlantean healing now.
Let me play my
time to tune in with some cards. Waiting for our transportation to the ferry that they keep saying came already, but it's not true. They're not telling the truth. And if you don't mind, if you can just like grab a cup of tea and just sit down and listen, if this is something that's interesting to you, I welcome you to enjoy. I'm here to fill in some of the gaps of some of the things that I wanted to share with you about the Bimini Atlantean healing retreat that I wasn't able to share during the Snapchats, during the actual retreat. Because I want you to understand, for those of you that are interested in spiritual healing, and healing in general, Atlantean healing, spiritual journeys, Bimini, or how I do my work, I want to share some of the more fine point. Yeah, because I think you might be interested. And some of you expressed that. You may want to watch the videos again and then watch this video again, because then it will make more sense. But let's just start with vortex. What does that mean when I say there's vortex spins and we're working in multi-dimensions, working with energies and light beings and channeling the healing? Okay, what that means is everything is energy basically in this universe. Everything, including you, including tables, walls, air, thought forms, beliefs, DNA, everything's energy. So it all moves, but it all moves at different speeds. And some energies move very slow, so they're super dense, and some move fast, so they're super light, and some are so fast and light that you don't even see them, like angels and guides and all kinds of things. That's why you'll hear a lot of people that talk about spiritual, like tapping in and vibrating higher and being able to connect easier. You'll hear them talking about eating cleaner, lighter. That does make a huge difference, because mine is the lighter you eat, the more live foods you eat, organic, fresh foods that you eat, the higher you're going to vibrate, the more connected you're actually going to be, because vibration is vibration. You eat lighter, you're going to vibrate lighter. You vibrate lighter, you're going to connect into higher beings of light more, clearer. And it's not that if you eat meat that you won't connect. That's not true. You can connect when you eat meat. It's just different vibrations. If you just think about levels of vibrations and forget about what those are, you eat lighter, you can connect higher. I'll leave it at that. Okay. So we're working with, I don't even know why I went there, but I'm talking about energy being in everything. But when we go work with vortex energies, a vortex spins like this. It's like, a funnel cloud, and it spins and spins and spins. And it's constant movement. So when you're in places that have a vortex, like Sedona too, there's a lot of them in Sedona, and they're all moving at the same time. There's a lot of them in Shasta. So they're all, not only is one spinning, but many, and so they're crossing each other's path. And then you're in it, so it's spinning through you. They are spinning through you. And when energy is spinning through you, it's actually cleaning things out. It's moving things. It's moving energy. It will make you tired. It could make you spacey. It could make you happy. It could make you angry. Just depends on what state of mind you're in and what you need to release next and what's coming up for release in your life. So there's just a lot of things that go into it. What I noticed is whenever I take a group anywhere, the group has all similar issues that they're working through. That's just the way it happens. Again, that speaks about how energy matches energy. Okay, this is another example, but just a different focus. So somehow a group collects, and they might have different issues, and they might be at different levels, but there's some common theme that the whole group has. Okay, and so that is how the healing work begins. And first I get the guidance of where to have a retreat, and then the people start showing up. And then I get the guidance on how to lead the retreat. And I could go to the same place, but we will do it differently. Different energies will channel in. Different frequencies we'll work with. And frequency is energy, but an accelerated form of it. And we will do our healing in different ways. So it just depends on who's there and what we're doing. So basically, we just have a lot of energy movement. We start our journey by opening the vortex of our group's energy and coming together as one. And I always say in our groups that it's not, the leaders and the participants. We all become one, and we all move together, and we do the journey as one. It is wonderful when you do it like that. I involve everybody in it. Everybody is involved. Everybody is participating. So it's not just, I'm just going to facilitate this and you're going to sit around and receive it. That's really not going to be in your benefit at all. So the more you're involved, the more you're involved. So it's wonderful. We start by doing healings in the water. And when you do healings in the water, you are actually amplifying the healing frequencies, because water is an amplification conduit. It also carries a lot of current. It also brings in the frequency. Not only that, it was the most beautiful blue water. If you go and look at those videos, you're just going to freak when you see the blue in that water. And the color of the water is a frequency. It's an energy. It's that type of healing. Feel about the healing in the water today?
I did not know what to expect, and you can't come here expecting anything, because I felt and dizzy and energized all at the same time. I felt like there were presences around me that weren't around me before, and I felt rainbow lights, bright lights that I've never seen before, colors I've never seen before.
Wow. So did it feel good?
Yeah, thank you.
How are you feeling physically?
Fantastic and light, and I was spinning when I got out of the water.
Totally spinning.
Yeah.
The vortex. Feel to get a healing floating in the water.
Magical and dizzy.
Feel in the healing ceremony today.
It felt great, very peaceful, very relaxing, and a lot of good communication.
Anything interesting happen?
Oh yes, I'll tell you all about it later.
Okay, I can't wait to hear. The energy of the area that we're working. So we move around the island and we work with different energies within the island. That island fosters a lot of a big container of a lot of different healing energies depending where you're working and what you're doing. So you've got to know energy real well. And I'll say it, I am a master at energy. That's just my thing. Energy is my thing. It always has been, and it just comes naturally to me. And I know where to work. I know how to do it. I know what order it needs to happen, and I know how to tie it all together. So, we start right off by doing some intense healing. And where we do it that first day, it's like surreal. When you look, you've got people laying in the water and we're working with crystals, and I was playing my flute. Each person had their own healing song that flowed through me, and I'm getting chills just thinking about it. And we're using crystals for healing, and then using our light activation healing techniques that include Atlantean healing techniques within them to work on the client. And just looking across the water and nobody's there but us, and seeing that, it just felt surreal. This blue and the energy and the feeling of it. It was just like getting total chills just being in it again, because I'm talking about it, because I'm remembering it. I now get to feel that again. And see, that's the beauty of spiritual journeys. That's why I always tell people, it's not about just going there and then it's done. It's something that you take with you, and for the rest of your life, it continues to give to you. It continues to work healing on you, depending on what's going on in your life. It's something that you incorporate into your spirit, into your body, into your being, and it will continue to help you forever. That's the beauty. So when I just go back there with my mind and I'm talking about it, it just takes me back there, and I get additional healing just doing that. And so, we may get messages for people, but what we're basically doing is infusing everybody, just giving them a good starting point for the healing process, and that we do whatever, and then we move on. The journey starts in the morning, where we meet and we talk and we discuss things that come up each day. And you never know where that's going to go, but we take all the time we need to do that. And then we head out to do the specific work we're going to do. And when we're done, we usually talk about it right after, and then we're pretty much done by like 3:34, something like that. And I'm looking at my iPad because I have all my notes that I'm going to talk about, and it just told me the battery's going to die, so actually I should plug it in. I know a lot of times that people come on the trips, they just want to keep doing what we're doing. Like they're like, oh, like it's 3:30, it's 4, it's 4:30, what, 5 even, 6 even. They're like, oh, well, aren't we just going to keep going on? They just want to keep going. And I know that a big part of these journeys is about having the downtime is just as important as doing a ceremony or doing a healing or talking. If you're constantly just infusing yourself with healing and talking and processing as a group, you're not doing yourself any favors. You need to give yourself the time and space to incorporate, like let loose, let go. So like the first day, you'll watch the video, we were back in town and we were passing by the island is this big, okay? It's like 6 miles. I have walked that whole island myself. So we were walking by one of the sandbars. Anybody want to get a drink? Let's go to the sports bar. Well, I wouldn't mind having a drink. Let's go to the... And, it's like, do I drink normally? No, actually I don't. I'm like the straightest person you can meet. I mean, I had my heyday. I used to be a big party girl back in the day, but I don't do that anymore because I'm very conscious of my vibration. I don't like feeling like that. And I just don't like to be in that. So if I go away, I might have a drink. It's a miracle if I have a drink once out of a year. That's how little I drink. I think it's more, let's just socialize and have some fun, and plus hanging out with locals and seeing my friends there. It's good to do things that you don't normally do. sometimes. And it is opening your box. It's getting out of your box. It's exploring between who you normally are and who you're going to be in that moment. It's called being spontaneous. It's called just going with the flow and seeing what is. And if the drink didn't work out, it didn't work out. And if it did, we had fun, well, that's cool too. And it really is no big deal, right? So it isn't like we were partying and tearing down the town, but if that's what I had chosen to do, which I would not have chosen to do because I was working, number one. Number two, I don't do that. It's no judgment. It's what I felt like doing in that moment. And that is perfectly fine. I don't have to restrict myself. I don't have to limit myself. And people get to know pretty quickly that I'm probably one of the most transparent people you'd ever meet. What you see is what you get. I don't hide stuff. I am very, if I'm going to do something, you're going to know about it if you're with me, period.
At the bar, Island Grill, but I think it's called Tunes. We have arrived. Quite workout. It is very smoky in there. Moving on. Here we go.
Right there.
Be a little bit more comfortable. Hello.
So anyway, the downtime is really important. It's good to laugh. It's good to just let loose. It's good to just breathe and just see different things, explore things, run into your friends.
That's right.
He's our favorite
I was
bartender.
just saying, I don't ever drink. And he said, whatever happens in Bimini stays in Bimini. Good friends, today is kind of special. Cheers, margarita. Cheers.
Can you give us a reading?
With the one thing that I set as an intention for this retreat is whatever we do this, which means, hopefully what I plan works out because it sounded like a great plan, but we're always subject to change. This or better. And one thing that we got every single day, we got what we set out to do. It was always better than we expected it to be. And we also always got some amazing extra surprise to our day. It was the synchronicities and the magic of that was amazing. And I have to say, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm so great, I'm so wonderful, but I know it's because of the way I flow, the way I do my work, the way I work, that I foster these things to happen because it happens on every trip. Amazing things always happen. Some sort of magic always happens. Like when we're in Hawaii, we were doing our last ceremony and we were at the edge of the lava at the ocean and we were doing rattles and bells and drums and we were just honoring Pele and honoring the island. And here come a baby whale and a mommy whale and they're jumping and they heard all of that and they were just jumping all the way around us and they did it until we were finished and then they left. I mean, that stuff just doesn't, that's not coincidental, okay? Things like that happen all the time on my trips. Things always happen. So I know it's definitely what I'm here to do. And I know how I'm doing it. I know what I'm doing. I'm not just out there just running retreats, I know what I'm doing and I make it a really cool experience. Do I know that these things are going to happen? Can I guarantee anything to you? No, I can't. You just got to be there and be up for the journey. Now, there were some people that chose not to hang out with us on certain times when we were done for the day. And that is so cool because you know what? You should take your downtime. If I was there as a participant, I'd probably go back to my room and just chill out and journal and do those things too. But obviously they weren't with us, and so they didn't get to enjoy some of the surprises that came along, like running into my friend Cleophas, and he started doing drumming with us, and you'll see that happening in one of the videos, and or a couple of videos that I posted actually. And that is so healing. You know, he was really playing that drum, and those vibrations heal. They knock more stuff out of you. And he drummed with us for like 45 minutes. And we had our instruments, so we joined in, and then the kids came and we let them play the instruments. So it was a celebration. It was another healing. It was a vibrational healing. And so the people that weren't with us, they didn't get that. But that is okay. I'm not judging that one way or another. I'm just saying the magic is with me, with the people I work with, that these things will happen if you're around us. So, but it's all fine, you know. Hey, I'm not saying one thing or another. I'm just saying that's what happens. So you have to have your downtime. And I enjoy that kind of stuff. I enjoy seeing my friends that I met there and them sharing, you know, their culture and just talking to them and laughing and hearing their stories. And you know what? They told me things this trip. I heard from several different people about a certain subject that I cannot talk to you about. Stories that were very similar, different people, different times. I think it's very interesting that I heard it so much on different days, at different times, with different people this time. Coincidence? Never. I was meant to hear that so I could know that about that island. And now that I know these things that they tell me, the next trip will be even more different because I've got more information. The universe wanted me to know about these specific energies. They're energies that I work with in general, but so that island is so much more than I even thought. And I'm sure I don't even know everything. So it's a journey for me as well. I know this video seems to be like it's going to go on for a while, so I'll try to shorten what I'm talking about. I just want to talk about the different places that we went and did healings. Like specifically, I won't talk about all of them because then this will be like a 2-hour video. But the healing hole was one amazing thing. I have to tell you, I had an idea of what that was going to be like, but it was nothing like I expected. It was so way amazing and so much better. You have to go at a certain time when you can get in there, first of all, and then you have to wade through the water through this pathway, a water pathway, and it has walls, and you've got not like concrete, but and to go into the mangroves. That was trippy. And then finally, after, 8-10 minutes walk, you get to the healing hole area. And it's really weird. Things start happening in there. And at first you're a little giddy because that's what energy does when it's high and different. And then I get everybody to settle down, and I start leading them through a healing meditation. And in the healing meditation, I start feeling things in the water. swirling around me. I've never felt anything like that before. Not only am I talking about water movement, but I'm talking about the energy and the water movement. It's not normal water movement. I was telling them to do certain things as part of the healing meditation. I actually had to stop and open my eyes and say, do you guys feel that? Because I was feeling it like, what is this? And it felt amazing, but you knew it was something different. It was not just being in water and having a current move around you. And you were getting chills. And it was super special. And everybody opened their eyes and said, yes, they were feeling it. And so the more I spoke, the more I was telling them to do stuff, they were getting chills. And we were feeling those swirls again. They'd stop for a minute, and then I'd start talking, and they'd start working again. They were working with us. There is something very... I don't even know how to explain it. Because the thing about this trip was, everything I wanted to say, it was a feeling. It was an energy. And I couldn't find words to describe what I was trying to say. In many cases, even when we were just having group discussions, that was happening. So I don't even have the words to explain how that felt and what that was. I would say, if you guys are into a spiritual journey or healing, or if you don't even know, like, I don't know, is that something I would do? Never thought about it, never did that. I invite, if you think like, hey, she seems like a cool chick and she seems fun and I'd like to take a trip with her, you should come. Okay, it's not about being all praying and everything. Look at my videos. You will see how I am. I'm a lot of fun and I'm down to earth and I'm very loving and I just really want to help people. And sometimes there's things, usually when we go to these things, we think that we know what we want to work on, but what comes up is stuff that we don't even know that we're going to work on, and then there it is. And so it's life-changing anyway. And you can never prepare for it because it's always different. It's going to be different from what you expect. So anyway, just come with me so you can experience these things because it's hard to describe. But that was an amazing experience.
We just came from the healing hole, and we're in our glory. And it was amazing.
I also want to say, I should back up, when we were doing the healings in the water that first day, I had people laying on the water, one person holding the feet, one person holding the shoulders, and then there's 3 of us doing healing. And people were saying the minute they laid on the water, they felt like they were spinning around and around and around and around, and they weren't. And you know, the funny thing is that when I was getting the information of how to do the session in the water, I was thinking I should have them move them in a circular motion. I was actually going to have them do that. But I thought, oh, that might make them tired. I just didn't want to add complications to it. But it was a good thing we didn't because they were spinning and spinning. They said they were just spinning, and one person got her. She was so dizzy after, like, she was like, whoa, I'm so dizzy. Like, she had to get out of the water and go sit down. And then the next person got, and she said the minute that she laid down, she was spinning like crazy. It felt like we were just spinning her around. So I'm talking about the energies we work with and the things that happen that you can't explain, but yet they're so amazing, deep, accelerated, and transformative. Okay, the other thing is Martin Luther King has a memorial there, and it's in a mangrove, and it is in the most pristine energy. Like, that energy was so amazing. You could feel him in that statue. You look at his eyes, and the eyes follow you. It was like I know he was there.
I know, I got close-ups.
Martin Luther King's memorial. He was here 3 days before he was killed. And this is a very beautiful, beautiful spot. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty here. Look at this.
It's amazing. It's like in the middle of... this is where he stepped foot, right?
No, over there.
Over there, this is where they did the
over there,
memorial.
Looking at all the fish and different stuff in the water, and he said the hand those things.
And he was actually there physically 3 days before he was killed. So I know that that's his resting place, and it was an amazing experience to see that. Okay, the this or better, the guy that took us to the healing hole, he was just an amazing person. I just like totally resonated with him. He says, you know what, I'm going to take you guys to Bimini Road. And that's a completely different tour. Like, you pay separate to go do that. And he just took us there. And Bimini Road is where they say are ruins of Atlantis. There's big, huge stones that you can see actually even from the boat, because the water is so clean. You see straight down to anything. And so we were like, what? Like, oh my gosh, we get to go over that area because it's out in the ocean. And he took us there, and we were so, like, I was just like ecstatic. I was so like, oh my gosh, like, this is like amazing. And one of those things that just happened to happen. You think it's a coincidence? Of course it isn't. But then it's always the extra surprise because it's what I do. I said, please, can we get in the water? Can we get in the water? We want to infuse ourselves with the Atlantean energy. This is everything about what we're doing on this trip. He's like, go ahead. So we jumped in the water and...
Bimini Road, the lost city of Atlantis. Here are the stones, and look at this color of this water. We are right above it. Come here for Atlantean healing, connecting with these energies. So amazing. Going to immerse ourselves in this Atlantean energy. We're going to get in this water and purify even more. In Atlantis, how you guys feeling with that? Wow, this is amazing. Thank you, Evie, for making this wonderful trip with us.
You're welcome, God.
We're very blessed.
Yes.
Love you guys.
Very, very blessed.
All right.
Just, it's incorporating energy after energy after energy. It's every day is a layer of incorporating new energies that are going to support you, heal you, and become you. Okay, it will give you insight, it will give you knowledge, it will give you healing, it will answer questions. So it's layer upon layer upon layer. That was so magical, and we were so excited. So that was really neat. Swimming with dolphins. You never know when you're swimming with wild dolphins if you're going to see them. We were out there for a long time because it takes a while to even get out there. And you know what? I actually had no doubt that we would see them. I pretty much just, didn't think about it. I wasn't thinking, I hope we see them. I hope we see them. I wasn't even thinking that. I just thought, we're going to see them. And I never even thought either way. But it was starting to become sort of like a few hours, and I was like, oh, I just felt the energy of the boat guy, and I thought, he feels kind of sad. So I'm like, oh, so I wonder if he thinks we're not going to see them. Well, we stopped and we got in the water and we swam a little bit, and, I was like enjoying that. Just being in the water is so healing. Even if you don't see dolphins, you still feel their energy. They're there, right? You don't have to physically see them.
Getting ready here, getting suited up. Heading out. Heading We're on this boat doing this thing. Look at this water. Look at these people. Where Dolphins are here. Dolphins, yay!
Oh my gosh, look how many are out there. Oh my god.
All in front of us. Hello, babies. Swimming with the dolphins. Only in Bimini. Hey Cindy, what are you doing? Swimming with the dolphins? Got to swim with them. It was the best ever. We had the best time. They came so close to all of us and gave us time. It was awesome. Dolphins! Lots of dolphins. And when we saw them, they actually were way ahead of us. And the boat driver says, you know what, if we see dolphins, what I'll do is I'm just going to stop and watch their swimming pattern, because if they're on the move, I won't know which way they're going. I won't have a sense of the bearing. So I just want to see if they're hanging around or they're leaving or which way they're going. So we'll just observe for a while, which I really love. But when we saw them, they were ahead of us, right? They were not way ahead of us, but they were a little ways ahead of us, but we could see lots of dolphins out there. Immediately, we stopped the boat and 2 dolphins come over from the big group that was a ways away. 2 dolphins come swimming over to the boat to check out the boat, and then they swim back. Dolphins are here. Dolphins, yay! And then brought all the dolphins with them. And we're like, oh my gosh, like we were so excited. So even though they were around the boat swimming, we still waited to see if they were going to stay, what they were going to do. And they were just hanging around the boat. So he's like, go ahead, get in the water. When we went to the back of the boat to get in the water, the dolphins were all waiting by the ladder. Like there's just dolphins waiting by the ladder. That's like the first time I've ever seen that. And I was like, oh my gosh, look at this. Like they're just like waiting for you to get in the water. That's like crazy. And so you slip in the water and it's just amazing. So we were in there, and I always like to separate away from people. People need to spread out and just let the dolphins do their thing. And a lot of times for me, they come so close to me, I can actually feel them. We don't touch the dolphins. We don't feed the dolphins. We don't reach out for the dolphins. We're very respectful. But if they come and they're like putting their body on me, there's not much I can do, right? They come that close to me, and this is not the first time. This happens a lot. I have dolphin stories where I've talked to dolphins and got lots of verifications that what I was hearing was right, because I'd say, if you said this, then do that, and they would do that, and it's just like crazy. So they were swimming with us, and they hung out with us for quite a while, and the guy said it's not really normal that they hang out that long and spend that much time with people. So he was kind of like, wow, that's kind of crazy. So obviously they were doing their work. I was opening my heart and asking for joy and love and healing in whichever ways I really needed at that time, and sending love and healing from that place to people that I care about and my loved ones and all that. So
that was highly an amazing experience as a group. When you go on a wild dolphin swim and you're swimming with the dolphins, as a group, you get a healing, and then you have a personal healing as well. So everybody had a group story and everybody had a personal story, but the dolphins came very close to everybody and spent time with all of us. And there's more dolphin stories and some interesting dolphin stories having to do with being invited to into their little orgy. Not everybody, just one person. Watch the vlog because you can find out about what happened there. That was crazy. It gets very interesting. So, I don't know. I pretty much, I don't want to talk about every little thing we do, but I will say that everything that happens during the trip is for a purpose. And everybody's responsible for their experience, and releasing stuff out of your life doesn't always feel good. And so the trip is full of all kinds of things, and I just do my best to facilitate the very best I can to help people while they're there with me the very best I can, and also do what I need to do for myself, because I cannot do these journeys and say, okay, we'll just work on all your shit and I'll just be fine. I would like to do that. It would be much easier, but as many journeys as I have led, which are countless, I don't even know how many I've done. I've been doing them for 14 years. As many journeys as I have led, I am always involved in my own healing. So it doesn't make that easier for me, because I'm not only holding the energy and the space for everybody else, but I've got to keep myself together. There might be times where I want to just break down and cry, but I can't do that because I'm leading the group. So, I have to spend my time alone to process my own stuff. So I have to make sure that I have that time to do that and multitask and handle everything else. So I am on my journey too. On top of it, I want to have fun too, because I'm just that kind of person. I like to have fun. I like to laugh. I like to be light and just joke around and be in that positive, happy energy. So I'm going to do things to do that too. It was nice to at least have one day after the journey just to do whatever we wanted to do. And we had such an awesome time, but we needed a couple more days. So next time we go, which is going to be October, I'm definitely spending an extra week there. A little before, a little after, and so I can really do it the way I need to do it for myself. One thing that I want to talk about is what happened when I came home. And this is going home, is the integration. Going home is always tricky, because you're going to come home to people who haven't changed, that are still doing the same thing, and you've changed a lot. You've got new mindsets, you feel different, you're not quite sure where to start with your life, you want something different, you want something better. So you've got to deal with a lot of things coming home. Well, let me just tell you a little story about coming home. The minute that we landed in Fort Lauderdale, that airport was crazy. Customs, going through all of that just to get out of the airport took almost 2 hours. It was ridiculous. They need to get their act together. It was unbelievable. So that's an experience. But getting in the car and driving home, this is the weirdest. It should only take me about 3.5 hours. I think it took me close at 5 hours to get home. How? I have no clue. Now I know a little bit. Actually, I know some of it, but it should have never taken me that long. The energy was spinning in a weird sort of way, and I knew it from the very beginning. I got turned around. I was going, I stopped at a rest stop to get something to eat, and I got turned around, and I went back, and I had to go through the turnpikes again and pay all this money. It was just crazy. And then I get back going the right way, and just the drive seemed like it was taking so long. It didn't matter how I was driving, or that there was really not many people on the road. It was taking so long, and I was so tired, like my eyes just wanted to close. And so it was so difficult driving home, and 3.5 hours should not be a big deal. Okay. And last time when we came back, I drove from even further. I drove from Miami. It was no big deal. This time it was unreal. The last time we weren't doing a healing journey. This time we were. So it makes a big difference. I was driving, and so finally I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stop at a rest stop because I'm not going to fight this. This is awful, and I want to be safe. I was spinning in the vortex energy. So I stopped at the rest stop, went to the bathroom, got in the car, put the seat back, and I took a nap. I don't know how long I slept. I think it was like 30 minutes. I woke up, started driving again. Drove for a while, I was okay, and all of a sudden, again, my eyes wanted to close again. I should have been fine. They were like, my eyes were so heavy, and the rest stop was so far. Finally, I'm getting to the next rest stop, and it's really, I would only have to drive 1 more hour to get home. Less than an hour, maybe 50 minutes. I'm like, do I just plow through this, or do I stop? And I thought, you know what? I'm just fighting this. I don't care. I'm just going to stop and sleep for a little bit. So I pulled over again in the rest stop, fell asleep. I don't know how long, maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour at the most. But it seemed long, but I think it was 45 minutes or an hour. And so then I started driving again. Again, I was just, even within that hour to get home, I was tired again. It was the energy. It was coming off that high and coming back into this denser energy. And it was just, when I was on the island, I wasn't tired. I was energized. I could go and go and go and go, get barely any sleep, get up, no problem, get going, have a full day, keep going. I was riding in the high energy, but coming back, you're going into slower energy. And my personal energy was just spinning really fast in a very slow energy. So it was clashing. I finally make it to get home. And I'm going through my city, which was dead. It was so dead. It was like 2:30 in the morning, something like that. And I'm going down, and I'm like 8 minutes from my house. And I'm going down the main street, and I always drive the speed limit because around here, you don't speed, or you're just asking for trouble. So I'm just cruising, and this police car is coming the other way. Well, the police station is over here, so he was going to turn to go to the police station, right? I'm not doing anything. I'm in a rental car. I'm driving fine. And I'm going down the street. And so he passes and like crosses the street like he's going to the police station. So I'm like, okay, good. And then I start going over this bridge to get to the side where my house is. And I look back and I see this car coming. And I'm like, I hope that's not that cop. I couldn't imagine it could be. But the way he was coming, it seemed like he was trying to catch up with me. So I was like, that would be weird. And he'd be wasting his time. Not going to find anything with me. So I'm going the speed limit, and I'm going over the bridge, and I'm going to turn at the first street over the bridge. Sure enough, it's the cop. He turns behind me. He's following me down the street. And I'm like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm spinning. I just want this drive to be over. This has been a total hell drive. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not doing anything wrong. He's wasting his time. He needs to get away from me. He followed me all the way down to the stop sign where I turned to go to my house, which is about a mile. I stop at the stop sign. I make a right, and he keeps going straight. So I'm like, okay, he's already checked out my car because that's what they do around here. They just do that regular. They'll go behind you and just check your car for no reason, which is weird to me. But he's already checked my car for sure, and I'm driving fine, and there's nothing that he should be concerned about. So I turn the corner, I go up a house, and I make a right into my driveway, and I stop the car, and all of a sudden I see him passing by my house. And I'm like, why did he come back? Like, it's like both times he passed me, there was nothing to come back for me for, but it was like he was like possessed or something. Like, why did he come back? There was no reason. He slows down, but keeps going. And then all of a sudden I see this other cop zooming away around, like he's going this way. I'm here. I'm here. He's going this way. And all of a sudden this cop comes from this street and starts zooming down my street. So they pass each other. And that cop that was following me leaves, and this cop comes and pulls in front of my house. And I'm like, what the hell? Seriously? They must be bored. Seriously. But now I'm irritated. And he stops his car and he flashes that big, stupid, obnoxious light on my house and then on my car. Like, you don't need to be doing that. Number one, I haven't done anything wrong. Why are you making this big presentation for this? Like, it was pissing me off royally. They have no right to do that. So I opened my car door, and they don't like it. Of course, police don't want you to get out of your car when they're there. But I opened the car door, and I looked over at him. He's flashing his light on me, and I'm like, yes, can I help you? And here I am in my sparkly little senorita skirt, pink skirt, like totally this feminine young lady. And he gets out of his car, and he's coming across the grass, and he goes, I know this is probably just a coincidence, but I'm looking for a rental car just like this one because it was stolen, and there was this guy driving it, and I was chasing him, and then he pulled into a driveway, and then he just disappeared. I guess I should have looked in the car because he was probably just ducking down, but I'm sure this is a coincidence. But what is your name? And I'm thinking, number one, you've just checked this rental car, and I'm sure you know it's not stolen. Number two, do I look like a guy? Obviously, I'm not a guy. Like, that would be your first clue, right? So obviously, it was BS. And, he was trying to see if maybe I was drunk or whatever, just to mess with me. There was no reason why he needed to come and stop me. And then when he saw that, because that was BS about the guy, because I'm not a guy, the car was not stolen, he could tell that right off. So he asked me my name, and I give him my name. And he goes, okay, I'm just going to go check that. I'm sorry. Yeah, why do you need to check my name? Did somebody report about a woman with my name? You would already know. In fact, you probably already knew that I had rented that car because I already checked. So he goes to the car, and I say, can I get my stuff out of the car? Because a lot of times they want you just to stay in the car. And he goes, sure, go ahead. Well, I guess he didn't expect that I was going to go in the trunk. And of course, that would just, they wouldn't want that. What is she getting out of the trunk? She might pull something out of the trunk. What is she doing? So I go to open the trunk, and I go to reach in to get my luggage, and he jumps out of his car, and he's coming over. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me help you with that. I'm like, I don't need help. Thank you. And I'm pulling out my luggage. He goes, oh, okay, well, I'm really sorry. I just want to let you know, though, that, there's been a lot of car thefts in this area lately. So make sure that you're locking your doors. You don't leave any spare keys out because people are just coming into this area, and it's happening every night. So just be really careful. And he's just talking to me about this. And I'm just basically looking at him like, what the hell are you doing here? I am tired. I want to go in my house. You have bugged me long enough. And here, I'm just like, it was unbelievable. He just kept talking and talking and talking. It was the weirdest thing. So, not only was it bothersome, but obviously my energy was spinning, and it was attracting them to me for some reason. They could feel, cops have to have some sort of a sensor, right? They have some sort of sensory level. So they were probably feeling something was very different, but translating it into something must be wrong. And because that's where they go with how they think. So they didn't know why they needed to be checking me or around me. They were probably shocked themselves, like, what am I doing? I told the guy, well, I just figured you guys must be really bored tonight if you need to chase me because I'm not doing anything. There's nothing that I do wrong, and I'm just like driving home. It's like, and he goes, no, we're not bored. It's, it's because of this. Like, he made up that lie, which I'm sorry, I don't believe them. That situation was highly annoying, but it was an energy thing. This is why I'm telling you this. It was an energy thing that they sensed, and they couldn't figure it out, so they just had to check it out. And I'm sure they're still shocked as to why they did that, and they don't understand because they don't understand energy at that level. And I was looking at them like, you've got to be crazy the whole time. And I looked, like I said, I was wearing pink, a little pink, sparkly senorita skirt. I mean, I just, look at me. Really? Crazy. So finally he left. He didn't leave for a while. It was just really strange. And then I was totally annoyed by that because I was so tired and I was so annoyed that I went in the house and I was just so irritated. I just went in my room and shut the door like, everybody, leave me alone. I need my bed. I don't want to know anyone. I don't want to talk to anybody. That trip home was crazy. It was awful. It was, the energy was, it was almost like the energy was fighting up against my energy. So it was almost like a battle to get home. So I just want to tell you how these things will affect you. And that's, you know, what I dealt with going home. And it was pretty intense. And then several days being back, every day was different. I was spacey, I was loopy, I was spinning, I was getting my bearing. I'm still spinning. It's just different every day. So it's all part of it. It's all part of the healing. It's all part of incorporating the energies. And, you know, for the most part, of course, I want this. I signed up for this. But it's just not always easy energetically when you're dealing with the factor of bringing a very high vibration back to a lower, not as clear vibration. It's all good though. Eventually it will incorporate. So I'm actually not only affecting my energy and the energy around me, but you know what? Oh yeah. For 3 days after that, it like stormed and rained and thunder and lightning constantly for 3 days. That doesn't happen here. That's not normal at all. I was stirring up the energy. Now, in the old days, I would have said, there's no way I could, me, just one person could possibly do that. I know better now. I absolutely could. I brought a huge amount of energy back with me, and that's what happens. So not only am I incorporating my energy with my energy, but I incorporated that healing energy, that vortex, that higher energy into this area. And I totally believe that if you go with your guidance and you go where you're guided to live, which I do, I'm not from here. I chose to be here. It's for a reason. You bring a certain vibration there. You bring a certain energy. The work I do, going to Egypt, going to Peru, going to Hawaii, going to Bimini, all the places I go and bring back this energy, it's shifting and changing the energy in this area too. So it needs it for some reason, that the universe is using me as a conduit to incorporate these energies to change things, to change the way people think, to clear the energy, to upgrade the energy, maybe to attract other like energies here because it needs to be lifted. So there's just a lot that goes into energy and the things that we choose to do and how it affects us when we're doing it or when we go home and how it affects us at home. It's not just, I'm going for this little healing retreat and that's all I'm doing. It affects everything. And so I'm just giving you a little taste of thought to think about the process of how much it shifts that, affects this, affects that, because it's not just one little thing that you do and then that's it. It affects everything. And now I've gone on way too long. I hope it was interesting for you. Thank you for listening. I'll be back soon for more videos, I suppose. If you follow me on Snapchat, I'm going to put my details below in the description. You can see me every day making videos because I'm snapping my life real time there. And so you'll see what I'm up to. And some days are more interesting than others, but if you're interested, that's the place to interact and see me all the time. All right, everybody, many blessings. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed our Bimini journey. I hope you watched the videos. They were really fun and interesting. And my next journey is to Peru in August, and that is amazing. We work with shamans all over the country, and they all work differently, so it's amazing. We go to the Amazon jungle, we go to Cusco, we do all the ruins around there, we go to the Sacred Valley, Machu Picchu, we go to Lake Titicaca. It's just an all amazing trip. So if you're interested in that, whether you've been on a journey or not, contact me. because that's going to be, Peru is just, wow, out of this world. And then after that, we will do another Bimini trip in October. So if you're interested in that experience, contact me as well. And I guess that's it. My third eye is just rolling right now. Wow. All right, everybody. Talk to you later. Have a great day or night, whatever time it is that you're watching this. And I'll see you all later.